I think I passed a plate of cheese to Kendrick Lamar, like, yo, player, you want some of this cheese? A rosemary butter perfume. It's a good idea, right?
What are you wearing? Just butter.
Ribeye, I like. A porterhouse is all right with me.
Have this bit.
Come on.
on.
I want you to enjoy it.
I want you to
I'm
have
gonna take
it.
a piece.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Let's share it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That can vex me.
I'm going to use that. I'm afraid this vexes me.
I'm on a jazz sabbatical. Nobody wants to hear me anymore, so I'm on a jazz sabbatical. Ooh, that looks delicious.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Dish from Waitrose. I'm Nick Grimshaw.
And I'm Angela Hartnett.
And we are here for Dish.
Whee!
How are you, Ange?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
I'm all right. Yeah, nice to be back with you.
Hair's looking lovely.
Yeah, do you like it?
It's a bit longer now, isn't it? You growing it?
I just not got around to getting it
It
cut,
cuts,
so it
okay.
just looks like I've
I
slept
like
in a
it long.
hedge.
Looks good. It does
Yeah?
not
No?
look like that. No,
Looks
not
all right.
at all.
Okay,
Looks good.
How is life, Ange?
Life is very good.
What have you been doing?
Went to see, been into the West End to see Cabaret, which was
yeah, how was
brilliant.
that?
Amazing. Because Billy said come, so we invite you weren't around,
Yes,
but
so
I
you
went to
went.
the opening night.
Oh, how was it?
It was fabulous.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's a shame he didn't come. He gave us amazing seats. We were right at the front.
Oh, wow.
In those lovely little tables.
Oh, wow.
I felt like that's how I want my life to be now, just sitting at those tables.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about things, someone bringing me a drink and just watching a great show.
Yeah.
It was a fact. He was incredible.
Was it? I bet he was. I
incredible.
bet he was. Hey, we have a great guest today, Gregory Porter, who's going to join us in a second. A Grammy Award winner, a massive fan of his work.
Yeah.
He's about to go off on a big old tour of the UK. He's playing everywhere, doing 4 nights at the Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, fantastic. That's
Feels
a great
fat, doesn't
setting
it?
for him,
Yeah,
actually.
4 nights.
And he just did Masked Singer, didn't he?
He did.
there.
He was a crab.
He was a crab.
Was he a crab?
Yes, he was a crab.
A dressed crab.
A dressed crab.
A dressed crab.
Yeah.
And the great thing is, yes, he was a singer. Yes, he's a jazz singer, but he loves food. Massive foodie.
Well, he used to be a chef because I think his brother has or did have a
Yes,
restaurant.
yeah.
And that's what he's first started
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
And he did have, well, I was trying to find it. He used to do these YouTube videos of Gregory Porter at home cooking food from where he came up, where he was brought up in California, really going back to his roots.
Yeah.
Well, I know this is a challenge. Like
The
Gordon
challenge.
there. Oh,
Yeah, it's
my
like
Lord.
Gordon again. Well, before we get Gregory in, should we have a listener question? Today, Sinead has got in touch. Hi, Sinead. Sinead says, hi, Nick and Ange. I'm hoping you can help with my spaghetti bolognese situation. When I fry up the meat, it forms in little lumps. I'm forever breaking them apart with a spatula, but I'm only one woman. I can't break them all apart. Is there a key to getting perfectly separated mincemeat in my bolognese? When I ordered from a restaurant, they managed to separate into tiny individual flakes of perfection, which I cannot achieve at home. What's going on with her meat?
What's going on with her meat? You
What's
look
going on with her meat?
fascinated by that question.
Well, yeah, go on.
Steve, you had this issue in your kitchen?
I've not, you know. No. I've not, you know. No.
Well,
Don't know about minced meat, full stop.
yeah, I mean, it may be in the restaurant that they're dicing the meat rather than using mince, but otherwise I think they're using a whisk. So when you you brown off your meat, you've got your sofrito, all your vegetables, and you're cooking it. They do start to form lumps as it's cooking. I then add all my water or my stock or whatever I'm covering it with, and then I let it cook. And as it's cooking, I take a whisk and I just bash it into the sauce. And the whisk, by doing that, you're basically breaking up the meat as it cooks, and that's the way to do it.
Why does it want to attach to other bits of meat?
I think as it's just cooking and you're stirring,
it's all mushy.
it's all
exactly. Whisk it. Love that.
Whisk
Stab it with a whisk.
Stab it with a whisk.
There you go, Sinead. Stab it with a whisk. If you ever want to get in touch with us at Dish, you can email us. dish@waitrose.co.uk is the way to do it. Okay, let's get in our guest, Mr. Gregory Porter. Hi, Gregory. Welcome.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great.
Hey, good, nice to see you.
Great to see you.
I heard you fell out of a tree.
I was 30 feet in the air. You know, when I get home, I'm on a tour the whole hundreds of days a year.
Yeah.
So when I get home, I have to do a bunch of different stuff. So I'm trimming the tree. It's about a ton, 2,000-pound branch. And it comes down and it catches the platform that I'm on. Shakes the platform, rattles my knee, bangs my knee. So I've been wobbling around for a couple of weeks.
And what are they saying? Just rest it up and take it easy?
Yeah, just
Maybe not going to world tour? But
Just time. And consequently, I I have to ride in limousines. I need
nice.
I need stretched limousines.
Stretch limo for the leg.
Yeah. Is there a stretched limousine Uber?
Yeah, that's what you need.
For the straight leg,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Why not?
It's time to welcome our guest, Ange, to the show. A man who knows his music notes and his tasting notes. A round of applause, please, for the Grammy Award-winning Mr. Gregory Porter. Yes. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you?
Wow. I feel right at home.
You do?
Oh, fantastic.
Love. Well, welcome. You hope you feel like you're at home, apart from, everyone watching you. Was this a surprise? Because I heard when you came in, you were like, oh.
Right. No, I didn't know there was a bit of an audience, but that's nice. you
Yeah.
know? No, this is amazing. I know I love cooking shows and tasting shows and this kind of thing, talking about food and music, but you're the host, so don't let me take over.
Is
Please
it
do.
true that you can have up to like 50, 60 people at your like hosting parties for Christmas and stuff?
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of people.
Yeah, well, that's a low number for Christmas.
That's a low number.
For Christmas,
Low.
yeah.
How many do you normally have then?
Christmas, it starts off with 30, but generally 100 people come.
That is insane.
That's
Gregory.
crazy. It's crazy.
100, and you'll make dinner for 100 people.
Yeah. I had this thing in me that my mother had, this desire to make sure everybody is satiated and comfortable and feeling good and feeling welcome and this kind of thing. It was a lot of work. I was exhausted at the end of the day, but it's a good exhaustion. It's a good exhaustion.
Yeah. I always think the house feels different when something like that's happened, like the next day.
Yeah.
You can sort of feel like the aftermath of the energy. can't you, in the air?
Yeah.
Oh, it feels like a nicer house,
Yeah,
I think, when you've had
exactly.
people around.
Let me
Feels
tell you what
hosted.
I do. This is right or wrong. Okay. Please, God, I hope I'm not judged. I don't clean up all the time.
Okay.
Right afterwards.
Okay.
Because the next morning, I like to walk into the dining room and see all of these cups and all of this fun and all of these. I can hear the voices and the fun and the laughter.
And sometimes you walk around going, oh dear God.
No, I'm not.
Really?
I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm leaving. A bunch of fat and sauces and underwear and. I'm just saying. It's just glasses, a little champagne,
It's just some
Maybe
glasses.
a little bit of bread. Yeah, I love that. What are you saying about me, Gregory? Is that what you think happens at my house?
He's heard.
Nick was like, well, you haven't been to my party, player.
So we always like to hear from our guests their food likes and dislikes. You've not given too much away here with your likes. We heard fresh seafood, salads, spinach. You love Lebanese. Is there any in particular that you love? I always love like an aubergine.
Yeah.
Grilled, sweet, baked.
Yeah, with some fantastic spices on top. Just magical.
We also have here on your likes that you enjoy a medium rare steak.
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to do steak today. Any
Okay.
preference on cut? Is there a favorite choice?
Ribeye, I like. A porterhouse is all right with me. There's different cuts here in the UK.
Okay.
And internationally, there is a difference in the cut of meat as well. And it's just a different thing. And Americans are quite used to a marbled, fatty thing, you know.
Yeah.
Not as fatty as the Japanese thing, you know.
Yeah, I always feel like an American steak looks like a cartoon drawing of a steak.
Right.
Like it's got like a steak in like Tom and Jerry. It's like, whoa. Speaking of steak, Angela, what steak are we having today? What's the
We're
cut
having a
we're going for
ribeye.
today? Ribeye.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Okay, ribeye. We have your dislikes, Gregory. Oily fish.
Well, I say that. Salmon, quite frankly, is an oily fish. I love salmon. It's my first choice. But, defer back to my wife, she has this dish called fish under the fur. It has a Russian name, but that's essentially what it translates to. So it's like a layer of potatoes, a layer of herring, and on top, shredded beets. And there's some spices and other things in there. It looks amazing. But you dive into it, and there's no, and then that oil from the fish hits you. It's like,
We had written down here radish eggs.
Explain.
No.
Hell are they? A radish egg.
That's a mistake.
new one.
I was speaking, freely, and I said, raw or rawish eggs.
Ah, right.
So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
rawish.
Yeah.
eggs.
Radish. Yeah.
No, I don't mind I don't mind the raw yellow yolk.
Yeah.
That's quite nice as a dipping thing. But when the white part is clear, that can vex me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
That can really shut me off from eggs for a decade.
Yeah.
Like, no way.
I like
You
that
don't wanna
expression, though.
overthink eggs.
That vex me. I'm going to use that more. No, I'm afraid this vexes me.
Take that egg
I
away.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. We heard that you were, we know you love, hosting and going to great restaurants, but we heard that you would be up for opening a small restaurant if, the opportunity arose.
I would. I used to do catering, and there were always generally weddings or dinner parties or something like that. In a wedding, everybody comes in at the same time, and they want to eat at the same time, and they all want to sit and look at each other and eat at the same time. So there's a ton of pressure to get all that food ready, warm, and tasty, bam, at the same time. And this sounds crazy, but I would limit the number. It was always like a 30 people or 40 people wedding because it was just me and sometimes me and one other person. I felt like I could handle, or somehow I handled that amount of plates. But, I wanted a restaurant with 8 tables. And I always felt like, man, surely I can handle that, At the same time, I also want a jazz club with 8 tables.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe I'm thinking of, my afterlife.
Right, yeah. And do you think you'd do it? Do you think you'd ever do a, jazz sabbatical and do a restaurant?
Wow, that's an interesting way to call the end of your career. I'm on a jazz sabbatical. Nobody wants to hear me anymore, so I'm on a jazz sabbatical. Ooh, that looks delicious.
And if you were to do the Gregory Porter restaurant, what do you think would be the key thing or the essential thing that you'd have to have on the menu?
Or we got to have a steak.
Gotta have a steak.
You got to have a steak. And I feel like my mother's dishes are coming to my mind at the moment. Got to have a gumbo. I tend to fall in love with these restaurants that have just a few things on the menu. And those few things, they do it really beautifully. Yeah, so I had a really nice dining experience last night at a place called Clark's, the restaurant.
Okay, yeah.
The company was nice as well. Am I name dropping? I don't know. But
come on.
I was with Jools Holland, and we were just talking about music and food. It was nice.
Oh, that's a dream night.
Yeah.
Nice food with Jools Holland.
Yeah,
Love that guy. Oh, yeah, this looks good. Smells good, Ange.
Wow.
Have some salad and some
I'm
chips.
looking at your plate, and I can see that part right there.
Do you want it?
No, you dig it. But that's
the bit.
That's why I rock with the ribeye.
Oh, this bit?
Right there.
Oh, have this bit.
No,
Come
man,
on.
I want you to enjoy it.
I want you to
I'm gonna
have
take a
it.
piece. I'm gonna take a piece.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Let's share it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There you go. Put a piece of that on my plate.
There we go. Come on. There we go. You have this big bit. There you go.
Look at that.
Get that on there. There we go.
There you go, Gregory.
Look at you.
You've got that little
Look
fatty
at that. I got you see how I spotted it from 6 feet away?
You spied that.
You were like a wild animal.
You were like, that bit.
I know what I see. I know what you got on your plate.
That bit, please. I want that bit. Right, do you want some salad? What have we got here, Ange?
So we've got some salad, we got French fries, chips, béarnaise sauce, we've got a red wine sauce, and on it I put a little Café de Paris butter.
Ooh.
So a little spicy butter on there.
I know, whether you're religious or not, and I don't do this every time, but I just feel like saying, like the prayer that my mother taught us when I was a little boy. God is good, God is great, let us thank us for this food. Amen. Boom.
Amen.
We're good Catholics.
Amen.
Amen. Bon appetit.
Oh, okay. Cheers. Thank you, Ange.
Pleasure.
This smells fantastic.
Ooh, that sauce.
So what is the sauce, Ange?
So we've got 3 different sauces for you, Gregory. We've got Café de Paris butter. So it's basically a spiced butter, which we've mixed with tarragon, parsley, Dijon mustard, cayenne pepper, anchovies, curry powder, garlic, shallots, all mixed together. And we roll that and then freeze it. So you can have that in your freezer ready to go. Then a béarnaise sauce, which is your classic that you have with steak a lot, which is basically a buttered sauce, a hot buttered sauce, and again finished with some tarragon and shallot. And then finally, this Beaujolais sauce, which is based of a red wine jus. So again, we've put a little bit of shallots through it and some red wine.
3 sauces and 2 chips.
I know.
And bitter greens.
And your bitter
Ah,
greens,
bitter
yeah.
greens in which you feed me. Is this Belgian endive? What am I eating?
So you've got endive there, you've got little Castle Franco, you've got Castle Rosso, all those bitter Italian leaves, Radicchio, Tardivo, just in season still now, with a little mustard dressing.
It's this floral, so beautiful. It's like it's like the petals of a peonies.
Perfect, lovely. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are. Tell me about the ribeye steak. Is this the preferred cut for this meal? If you were making this,
I like Gregory prefer ribeye because it has a natural more fat through it, and it's got a natural fat to it. I like it with the bone in where you get a double chop.
Oh yes.
And also it's, as Gregory said, it's great to go on a barbecue. It can really do well on a barbecue. I mean, we're obviously in a kitchen here, but it is a great cut, and you can take your time cooking it. So we've just cooked these steaks are about 250 grams, a little bit of oil, foaming butter, and we finish lightly in the oven.
So we filmed it. We filmed Ange making this meal. So if you want to watch it, you can see it on the YouTube channel. You can see it on socials as well. And if you want the recipe or any of the ingredients, waitrose.com/dish recipes, all the ingredients and how to do it on there. The wine we're having is the Cabernario No. 8.
We're going to give you a chance to say that over again so it's smooth.
The wine we're having is the Cabernario No. 8.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's right.
You'll be invited back.
So apparently this is a classic. From one of Chile's best vineyards with blackberry and blackcurrant flavors and soft, smoky tannins.
Wow.
So Gregory, you've enjoyed cooking since you were young, like very young, like age 6.
I was my mother's little kitchen helper. So I enjoyed.
And what would she have you doing?
We were cutting vegetables, French fries we'd make like this. I did everything that my sister did. She started cooking at 9, so I started cooking at 6. And my mother, and she loved us, I know she did. But we were cooking, I remember being able to see the flame.
Yeah.
Like eye level. And I used to stand in a chair and cook and make eggs. I used to stand in a chair and, I wouldn't dare let my kids do that now.
Do your mum have a chip pan? Because I always remember being it felt high risk.
Yeah.
What is a chip pan?
And you'd have like a pan specifically to make fries in. Like, with
hot oil.
And you'd have like a little basket.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone's house used to set on fire in the 80s.
Yeah.
They did, didn't it? Really worried about...
Everyone's just worried about that thing. Yeah, that's what
chip
they
pan
want.
fires and quicksand.
Yeah. Quicksand, I was quicksand.
I was like terrified.
Yeah.
Quicksand.
Wasn't quicksand a thing?
Quicksand got so much press. Everyone was like, watch out for quicksand. I was like, really?
Dogs with rabies.
Dogs with rabies.
And quicksand. I was so sure.
You're like...
I was so sure a dog with rabies, foaming mouth dog, was going to chase me into a pile of quicksand.
And then, done. And then there'd be a chip pan fire there. You'd be like...
And he'd be biting my face as I sunk down.
Hey, we need to talk about the fact that you're going on tour.
Yeah.
The tour will begin on the 22nd of April in Brighton, and then you're off to Birmingham, Leeds, Manchester, Glasgow, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Cardiff. 4 nights at the Royal Albert Hall.
I remember maybe we drove past Royal Albert Hall, and they were telling me about it. And I was like, man, I will never play that. I was like, who does that? They were like, oh, Eric Clapton does. I was like, yeah, see, you got to be somebody like Eric Clapton to play that. But they were like, but Eric does like 4 nights, Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'll never. Well, and here we are, I think we did 4 nights last year as well. But yeah, and I've been there quite a few times now. But on this journey, on this music journey, the dreams and the goals that kind of just keep moving, because really the dream was just to have one little sold out show. We did that, and then now I have to adjust my dreams. It's just a beautiful journey that we've been on. So let's steak and wine. No, but I'm really looking forward to really jumping around the country, because I get so much out of you have a diverse food culture as well.
Yeah, and does life change for you drastically when you do go on tour? Do you have to do anything differently? Do you have to, I don't know, not speak before the show?
No, I don't do that. I eat all the cheese and drink all the whatever.
I always think it's when a good singer doesn't change. I'm like, oh, you're actually a good singer. You see Adele, like, having a fag before she goes on. She's like, I've got this, babe. Like, you don't if you're good, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Yeah.
She's got it.
Yeah. They say, oh, never cheese. You know, it's a different sound if I have a little cheese when I go out on stage. It's a cheesy sound. It's like it's kind of a warm, thick, cheesy, you know.
People like, he's had a cheese triangle. He's had Dara Lee before tonight. I can sense it. I can hear it. And then when you're here, do you get time off? Do you get to go to like the countryside? Have you been and experienced, you know, English country life?
I have done that.
Does your family come over? Do they come?
Many times they've traveled. But the manor houses that now have turned into like hotels sometimes. I quite like doing that. Of course, yes, you know, it's kind of posh, but I kind of like it because we don't have anything like that. Sometimes when I'm in different places, I'll stay in places like that and then drive 30 minutes then to do the show. There is that countryside, and then there's the wilder countryside, which I really adore. It's really some beautiful topography here in the UK.
And do you like to, when you're traveling around, make the most of the city? Like find, I don't know, a gallery or find a restaurant and do something?
Well, the first times I was coming, in my mind, it's like I'm only going to be here once.
Yeah.
So I was doing everything. I mean, up to showtime.
Yeah.
You know, 6 o'clock, it was a 7 o'clock show. Okay, I'll leave the museum at 6.
Yeah.
Right. You know?
Yeah.
I was trying to get as much as I could. I'm taking a bunch of pictures. I brought 3 cameras and was just ridiculous. You know, it's like, really like I would never come again.
Yeah.
So, but yes, so I do get a chance to.
That's good to do. And we heard you like Skegness.
Yeah, no, the Jools Holland comes back. I was on tour with Jools Holland. His tour was going through, a lot of fun towns. I don't know what, like holiday towns.
Seaside towns.
Seaside towns. And they're amazing. They're purpose built and they're like meant for family fun. And I like that. It's funny. I come into things and there's always a predetermined thought and idea of what something is.
Yeah.
But I come into it with my own fresh eyes and it was like, no, this is cool. There's right outside my window is a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
and a clown that serves ice cream.
Yeah.
That's fun to me. That's not a problem.
You're like, I like that.
I'm down with that.
So whatever it is in this society, high or low, I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a place.
You embrace it.
A place purpose built for family fun.
Yeah, that's a nice way. Yeah.
They need to get that on the sign.
Yeah. Skegness. Welcome to Skegness. Yeah, that will help
for family fun. I wanted to ask you as well, because you must get asked about this all the time. Like, we introduced you as Grammy Award winner.
Yeah.
And what happens? Does life drastically change? I mean, probably not day to day, but do the stakes rise when you become Grammy Award winner? Gregory
Expectations,
Porter.
isn't it?
Well, let me just say, it's quite funny. My hometown, Bakersfield, is kind of a little small town vibe there. So just a few days before the Grammys is when I hurt my leg, cutting trees, and nothing so glamorous about it. Somehow I was able to still, with a stiff leg, slide on my tuxedo and go to the Grammys. And so the juxtaposition between me being up in a tree, nearly dying, coming down off the, this construction site that I'm working in, and being on the Grammy floor within arm's reach is Beyonce, Billie Eilish, Boone, what's his name? Benjamin Boone.
Benson.
That I've got. He was awesome, flipping off the piano. Kendrick Lamar. All of them were reachable. We were at tables like this. And I was like, wow, this is what a Grammy does. It puts you in the presence of people who have been elevated. And in many ways, in our entertainment-obsessed world, made to be superhuman.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're just normal people.
Yeah,
We're just, I think I passed a plate of cheese because they once you sit at the real good table, they give you a little fruit and cheese, a little wine at the table. So I passed a plate of cheese to Kendrick Lamar, like, yo, player, you want some of this cheese? So it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. But really what it does to me, every time that I go to the Grammys, I meet my idols. And they are just so human. Some of them compliment some of them. I was like, oh, I know you, man. Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, okay, y'all regular, just like me. If I was just, up in a tree about to fall down, we're really all just the same.
Maybe Beyonce was doing the same before she arrived.
Yeah. Passing the cheese,
Trimming the conifer. Cleaning a gutter. You never know. Hey, we've got to talk about The Masked Singer as well, because people have seen you on the telly recently.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
As the dressed crab on The Masked Singer. How was that experience, and how did it get pitched to you? Because I had it pitched to me a few years ago, and it's insane. The pitch is crazy. Yeah, what was it that made you be like, yes, I will be a crab?
Well, this is an interesting thing, because my manager filters things in an interesting way. It's just a few days.
Yeah.
It'll be nothing. You just go and you sing whatever you want.
Yeah.
None of that was true. There was like months and months of worry and, and you pick a song like, no, we've done that before. No, we don't like that. We don't know that. It wasn't a hit here, I'm sorry, America, but it wasn't a hit here. So we really had to work to find songs that quite frankly, weren't going to be terribly difficult to even memorize because it's a live performance. There's no teleprompter. There is no, you have to internalize this music. And the music is cut up. Like you may know a song, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. But there's a TV edit.
Yeah.
So we're losing children.
So the next lyric is show them all the beauty they possess inside. Yeah. They may cut that part off. You may have to go, we are the children. We are the world. I was like, huh? So that was really, messing my brain up. That crab head that I was wearing was, was about 50 pounds.
Yes. It must have been so hot.
It's super hot.
Yeah.
I nearly fainted the first rehearsal. And then they realized, we need to drill some more air holes.
Yeah, you do.
It was so much fun. It was madness and craziness. And when I showed my kids, they were like, oh my God, that's you, Daddy? And it's like, yeah, that's me.
And you really don't talk to anyone backstage, do you? They keep you so hidden, so no one can ever know.
You're sequestered. And if I'm honest, it was a bit isolating.
Yeah, I bet.
You talk to like one assistant who's giving you things, but I don't know. I've not met any of the contestants.
Yeah.
I know their names now, but I have not met any of them. You don't talk to anybody. Even when you're unmasked on the finals, they tuck you away and put you in a card.
Yeah.
Get your ass. Yeah, you're gone. And even as you're leaving, you're still leaving with a mask and a hoodie.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, all the way to your hotel.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and then they take you in the back way of the hotel.
Oh wow, they take it serious.
Yeah, really.
It's super serious. Very serious. Super top secret.
Let's do our fast food quiz. Here we go. Gregory Porter, we would like to know your favorite way to eat eggs.
Quick. Eggs. You can make eggs in about 23 seconds.
Are we frying them, scramble? What are we doing?
Yeah, just olive oil or butter and just crack it in there and just mix it up. Just give me the egg. That's when I'm on the go. And I want it on top of some toast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there are people who like to crack it and sit that thing in the egg and let it sit for 7 minutes. I cut that foolishness out. It takes 23 seconds. Just cook it.
Quick.
I do like a French omelet when it's
nice.
just
runny
like
a bit.
scribbled up so fantastically and folded and fluffy.
Yeah.
And then they sprinkle a little of those,
herbs on top.
On top. That's killing.
That's good. What about your favorite sandwich filling?
Okay, turkey.
Yeah.
Pesto aioli. I love onions. Like a white cheddar.
Nice.
And a whole bunch of like fresh, really crisp lettuce, you know, like
Yeah.
you know, so yeah.
Nice.
I want that.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite form of potato? Personal question.
Yeah, garlic mashed potato.
Oh,
Yeah.
Garlic mashed
yes.
potato. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What's your favourite pasta dish?
Again, we have to go back to that lovely basil. I do like a pesto pasta is pleasing to me.
Favorite herb, Gregory?
You know, I do a rosemary and butter kind of a basting on many of the things that I do. The rosemary plant is just right outside the kitchen window, and you just drench it over something, and just let the rosemary just hang out in that butter with that dish, and then it just really transforms and elevates. And you know, people come over maybe who don't do that. It's like, what the hell did you do to this piece of chicken? And it's like. It's so simple.
It's so good.
But it's super elevated.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
It's like being like washing the chicken in a perfume.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
It works with it, yeah.
It's perfume.
It's perfume.
Yeah, we like that.
Rosemary butter perfume. It's a good idea, right?
What are you wearing? Just butter.
Just butter and
Rosemary and butter.
What's your favourite Sunday roast? You know, when you've got your 100 people over, what are you doing?
A beef rib roast is quite nice. Yeah.
Finally, Gregory, what is your favourite dish from your childhood?
Yes.
Gumbo.
Gumbo.
Okay.
Because it was such it was a high dish in my family. You got the most choice and select things out of the gumbo once you were a little bit older and had some maturity. So the kids never got the shrimp or the crab.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they would even give you a little of the juice and then slice a couple of hot dogs in there.
Yeah.
Because I know you really love hot dogs.
Yeah,
you don't know
yeah,
nothing about crab. You don't know nothing about shrimp.
Yeah.
But it's a dish that was so important in my family. It was like when grandma was coming over, we making gumbo.
Yeah.
It was just so magical and beautiful. It's just the way it was seasoned and the importance that it had. And I was so glad when I got to a certain age where I could have crab, because the older people would you know, they'd sit and they'd really pick on the crab, get all the crab meat out of it, and it was a thing, you know. And I was like, I want to do that too when I get older. Now I'm having a moment here, but it was a real thing. Consequently, on my cooking show, the Porterhouse, it was one of the dishes that I made. And, really.
But have you changed your grandmother's recipe or your mother's recipe? Have you adapted it?
Yeah. There's probably a bit more shrimp and a bit more crab. You know, they were thrifty women. But my grandmother had 14 children.
Oh, wow.
And my mother had 8 children.
Right.
And so there wasn't a lot of crab.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot of crab to go around. You know what I mean?
End of the show question. Okay, here we go.
If you get it right, Gregory, you win this lovely goodie bag.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Gregory Porter, end of the show question. Hi, Gregory. Thank you for coming on. As a former American football player, if you were to play the halftime show at the Super Bowl, who would you invite to perform with you? So say you were there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got to have a guest. Everyone likes to bring a guest. Who would you have at your halftime Super Bowl show?
Wow. I'm just, you know, I don't know what food. All of this has brought me back to these childhood memories. I think of Diana Ross was performing. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. She knows how to do those big.
She knows how to do a show.
I would be totally overshadowed, but rightfully so.
Yeah.
She's a queen.
Diana Ross is a solid dancer.
Yeah.
She's
Solid dancer. Well, the Waitrose goodie bag is yours.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right. That's yours. That is yours.
Thank you, Waitrose.
Thank you.
A round of applause for our guest today, Mr. Gregory Porter. Thank you, Gregory. And we're going to come see you on tour. We're going to come.